Welcome to our Southern Africa Litigation Center podcast. Today we are joined by Christine Avia and Lulu Nyezi Lulu, who are going to be discussing with us what the advocacy of sex work looks like and what it means for them in Southern Africa. Welcome, Christine, and welcome, Lulu.
Thank you very much, Malusi. My name is Christine. I'm a sex worker activist.
Thank you. My name is Lulu Nyezi. I'm a sex worker, also an activist, representing key and vulnerable population in Tanzania living with HIV within a 10 cm. Also a director of Women with Dignity, which is a national network of sex workers.
Okay. As we all know, in most of our in Africa, sex work is regarded as indecent. Organization. It's like it is related with indecency. So being a sex worker in Tanzania is a very difficult venture to be in, despite the fact that people engage in sex work because of different circumstances and reasons. As a sex worker, it's tough to access services such as healthcare services, social justice. Also, we face issues such as stigma and discrimination. We fight for the basic things that we need as a normal human being. But having an opportunity to even acquire just decent life, just like everybody, like any other person who wakes up in the morning and decides, like, yeah, I need this for me or my family. It's just a tough ordeal for us sex workers, especially here in Tanzania.
Oh yes. First of all, because being a sex worker is, first of all, you face a multiple stigma in Tanzania. It started from the family level, it's from community level, even from the government level or the general populations. And we had experience living in being a sex worker in Tanzania. You live with no hope because you don't know what will happen when you go to work, like during the night or during the evening. You don't know if you will come back either safely, that you are alive, or you'll be taken to police, or client will be facing you with violence and others. So we are just living without knowing our tomorrow. We are just live for today, but we don't know our tomorrow. So it's difficult for us to work. It's difficult even for our kids as well, because sometimes you found you are sex workers. If you are not much well organized yourself, you found even your kids are more invulnerable, because sometimes you go to work at night, and even the housemaids, doesn't work in houses of sex workers. So you go at night to work. You left your kids home alone. You don't know who will come and perpetrate them in different issues like raping, or who will be taking care. So even our kids are just taking care of themselves.
Another issue Lulu addressed was the issue of rape among sex workers. The incidences of rape among sex workers, whereby they cannot even report such incidences, as because people tend to believe that the fact that you've decided to become a sex worker, you've decided to live, like to let it out there for everybody. So once you are a sex worker, nobody will believe your story. Nobody will believe that you've been raped, and you cannot even access justice for such incidents, because they say, like, you've decided to sell your body. So how can someone rape a sex worker? Yeah, thank you.
But in other ways, we didn't have much information of the COVID-19. Hence, the government does not want to emphasize and put priority on it. Also, due to the economic stagnance, at the moment the COVID outbreak, we had a challenge. Like there was a moment some of the schools were closed, and our kids were told to be working like doing homework from home. And we had a crisis of economic. We didn't get sufficient clients. Then we were supposed to print materials for kids. So it was affecting even our kids in school, in terms of schools. But we even failed, some of us, we failed to pay rent, some of the sex workers. And it went further. Some of the people were evicted from their houses, because even some of the lodge because there are some sex workers who living in groups in different lodges. Some of the lodges were closed, or people they failed to pay daily to daily accommodation fee, so they've been evicted out. We have plans like a network. We have plans. We want to develop some guidelines on how to respond during the pandemic periods, so that we can help our community better to understand how can we work or helping ourselves, creating supporting system within ourselves to respond on the pandemic, but moreover to see how we can do, because we found that during the COVID-19, most of people, they are suffering from economic crisis. So we want to do like a mutual support, but also to do an capacity building on income generating activities to empower people to be knowledgeable how to respond during the crisis, rather than being just in dilemma when the things like COVID happens, we start struggling. So we want to have a good mechanism for economic stability among ourselves. For us, it has a big meaningful, because we have an outcome of the what SALC. I remember it was 2 years, if not last year. They supported us with sex workers. There were about 27 sex workers who were arrested, and I was among of them. And our pictures were just aired on the media. So from that point, because I tried to do a follow up of those who were victims of the pictures to be shared on the medias. That area, since that moment of then when we hired a lawyer, it has not been being raided by police compared to other places. So at least from that moment we put a lawyer who represented us on the court, it has putting a notification to even local government authorities within that area and the police officers of that policy centers to know that beside all that, these people, they are aware of their human rights. And this was a product that was funded by SALC. So we see it has an impact if it can be done to other various places. I think if we will be doing it continuously, once there is something like that happening and people they are responding, it will create awareness even to the police officers to know that these people, they are aware of their human rights, and there are people who can do litigation. So it's minimize all those torturing and harassment done by police. I think SALC should keep doing to invest more on us. Like for now, I think it's high time now to need to have our own, to identify our own lawyers, because sometimes we had lawyers, but these lawyers sometimes they are not really show up as it's supposed to be. And also we need to invest much on having our own paralegal within the localities, because we want like to develop like a rescue committee, the rescue committee that is highly from sex workers ourselves, and also having a paralegal who are sex workers. So we need much to get supporting from SALC or funds maybe, and even technical, because we do understand that they much more having skills on advocacy and litigation issues. I think they need to join us together to amplify our voice and to cement on doing advocacy, to see how we can work together in partnership, to see how we can work, because it's a SADC thing, to see how we can work upon on the policies, to work upon on the laws that are not that are out of I can call it out of fashions, to see for us to be in a better way as sisters and brothers. Oh, mine is just to appreciate the effort that SALC have been doing to Tanzania to help us, because we have been hand in hand to get their support whatever we needed. Anytime we have problems, they have been good supporters of our work. That's it. So I would like to appreciate SALC.
I also want to suggest that we can have even exchange programs among our members from different regions. People who are, for instance, I understand in Kenya, they have programs on paralegals. We can have exchange programs whereby we can take some of our sex workers to their countries so that they can learn from them, learn from their experiences, which we will share. I believe also in South Africa, you might have such programs. So SALC can even provide such a platform for us, and maybe we can do such initiatives. We also another thing I want to mention is that for instance, when Lulu mentioned the issue of arrest, which of the 27 people, we realized that many sex workers understood the impact of having the sensitization on understanding their rights, but due to lack of resources, we have not been able to accommodate most of them. They've been requesting these sessions, but we don't have resources. So the little resources we have, we just try to accommodate for them. So if SALC can provide us with support for us to also support other sex workers from different areas on sensitization of human rights, it will be a great initiative. Thank you.